Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show. This week on Today's Homeowner, we're making memories as I help my daughter Chelsea create a family heirloom, literally from the ground up.
Did you measure twice? Cut once.
A couple of years ago, my oldest daughter Chelsea bought her first house. Like any good dad, I got involved helping her fix it up. One of the things that had to go when the renovation first started was a cedar tree that was very overgrown right in the front of the house. When it came down, we planned to save the trunk to build something a little later. Finally, its time has come. There we go.
Load them up.
Because these things are so big, I've enlisted some help from the guys from my construction crew to help move them onto the trailer for the trip to the sawmill.
All right, you got the trick there, huh?
Hopefully, rolling it on these pipes will make that a little easier.
Everybody grab a hold of it. There's no handles. Really, let's try to all go at one time, and I think it'll run better. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hot, hold up. On 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoop, stop. All right, come on this way in a controlled fashion. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're on the trailer. Let's go, fellas. Hold on. Well, we just did enough. Here's enough room, huh?
The next one goes a little more quickly.
Oh, look at that. Oh, are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3.
Now that our exercises in counting to 3 are done, it's off to the sawmill.
I really have no idea how much we can get out of it. I have no idea how a sawmill works.
The older log was extremely heavy, so obviously it has not rotted. And if he cuts those outside edges off, then he's still got a pretty good cord to cut through, but it wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have almost like wormholes in it and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Huh.
We'll talk with Roy, the guy with the sawmill, and see.
Yeah, well, I've seen pictures of his shop or whatever in the newspaper.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm really interested to meet him
Yeah.
and look around and see, maybe we'll get some ideas over there.
Our crew met sawmill owner Roy Hyde while he was milling some lumber for a project we followed some time back. The sawmill supplies Roy and his wife Allie with wood for their own unique handcrafted projects. But they also cut small lots of wood for people like us who want to put an old tree to a new use. It's at least an hour's drive over here.
Oh, this looks cool. This is why people have...
Old fence or gate.
Yeah, it looks like a bridge.
Oh, it's like a little culvert.
Yeah, I bet he milled that lumber himself.
I bet he did too. Check out the sign, idle, speed,
Slow.
only. Welcome, watch for children and lizards, and chickens and dogs and bugs, peacocks, toads, trees, cats, possums.
Confused adults. Oh, look at that tree. That's cool. Looks like it's been twisted and warped.
Look at the doggy coming.
There's a pup coming to greet us.
It's a pit bull.
Come on just a little bit. We want to get in the shade there. That's good, Danny. Whoa. Okay.
Well, I hope this works like we think it's going to work. I haven't really, I've been around a sawmill a time or two, but really haven't done what we're doing here. So
You've come to the right place.
good. Well, it was a heck of a job to get it on there. You see, we had our pipes and had about 3 or 4 guys help us roll it up on there, but it is real heavy.
The old-fashioned.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way. Yeah. So.
All right, excellent. The first thing probably is we need to make sure that we can cut everything and that there's not any nails. You know, you give people a place to drive a nail and they seem to want to.
Oh, look how red that is. That's beautiful.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
You already got that many out of there? Wow.
When it first cut,
There's one
Chelsea,
here.
it's going to be
That's the
really,
thing.
really red and pretty. And then when it
Sometimes that
dries,
thing will
it's
just-
going to look gray, but as soon as you sand it and put anything on it, it'll turn red again.
Oh, great. Awesome.
It's real depressing after it dries. It
Yeah.
loses its color, but it'll come back.
Alright.
Good.
While we continue getting this log ready for the sawmill, why don't you check out this week's Simple Solution with Joe Truini.
When using a belt sander to smooth a piece of wood, you typically have to clamp down the wood to keep it from moving, and here's the reason why. There you go. The belt sander itself will shoot the wood out. Now, if you clamp it down, the clamps are always in the way, and they do make sanding pads, special pads for routing and sanding that you can use in the workshop. But here's a more effective and cheaper version of using a liner. This is a shelf liner that they make for shelves and drawers, the bottoms of drawers. And this is the open weave type. It's rubbery and it has an open weave to it. And it works really well to hold the wooden work pieces in place. So just put it out over the workbench and cut it to size with scissors. Cuts really easily. And this soft, cushiony surface will grip the piece of wood and prevent it from moving. And let me show you. Just lay it out there. And the open weave also lets the sanding dust go through too, so it keeps the surface a little cleaner. So now when you start sanding, it'll grab the piece of wood and keep it from moving. And this will work with all kinds of sanders and all surfaces.
My daughter Chelsea and I are planning to create a piece of furniture from an old cedar tree that was cut down in her front yard. So we've taken the logs to Roy and Allie Hyde's sawmill to have them cut down into lumber that we can use. So far, we've removed a few dozen nails and met the family pets.
Don't chase him over here!
Now it's time to get the logs onto the sawmill.
Pretty cool, huh? That's easier than rolling it on those pipes.
Yeah.
The tractor is a huge help in moving the log,
Here it goes.
but there's still a little elbow grease needed to position it on the mill.
That's what we have to do now is get it up like this and then slide it. Okay.
See, I grabbed the small end real quick like so.
Yeah, you're pretty sharp.
I don't know what to grab.
You got your own show, you should be able to get
This is
easy in, huh? This looks good to me. I'll hold it. Put the dog in. I was just gonna slice some of this top piece off if you want.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna use every piece of everything.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
All
we're gonna
right,
use.
well,
I mean, we're gonna build stuff for years. So, I'm gonna give it away for Christmas presents.
I love it.
The first few passes of the saw remove the rough edges that are sticking out, but whether these pieces are useful or not doesn't really matter. They smell incredible. After a few more slices off of the limb, we're into cutting longer planks.
Well, let's just keep cutting it at 1 inch then.
Yeah.
And in a few minutes, we'll be going, we'll get down to the point where we'll just flip it over, and then we can cut it all the rest of the way.
Perfect. That's perfect. Now that all the preliminary work is done, the boards start coming off the mill one right after the other.
Twist it and pull it up and out. Danny, look at it. There you go. All right.
Allie's got this.
Oh, this is nothing. This is a pleasure.
Now,
Put the dog on, Dad.
Okay, babe.
wait.
I don't know.
Wait.
I just wanted to say that.
You just wanted to say it.
I think that's great.
This is beautiful wood, and Roy says it's already dry enough to start using, but that really puts a lot of pressure on us to come up with the right project for it. So Chelsea takes a break to check out Roy and Allie's house and some of their handiwork.
The staircase, Chelsea, is all from one cedar log. I mean, it was substantially bigger than what you brought over, but
Yeah, that's cool.
you might be interested in what we used first hanging the ceiling fans.
Yeah, I saw that. That's interesting.
And that's all juniper that we cut. on the wall there.
Allie and Roy have created all kinds of unique furniture, which is more likely the kind of project we'll be taking on. While the ladies were taking the tour, Roy and I finished cutting down both logs, and now that the trailer is loaded, it's time to say our goodbyes. Hey man, I can't believe how much fun that was.
All right, great.
That was great, and thanks so much for putting up with us here. Tell you what, that was...
A little warm. Thanks so much.
Well, did we end up with more wood than you thought?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what you want to do with it?
Nope.
So that's the challenge now, what to build. Chelsea's a big fan of Pinterest, and she's been pouring through a number of the Pinterest boards for more ideas. But what is she getting us into?
See, I kind of like that look.
Pretty tall.
Yeah, I know. I like it tall like that.
I'm just
Kind of a
concerned about the
statement.
amount of wood we're going to end up with.
Yeah, that's some problem too, I guess. I like this one, just not turquoise. Like, that's really nice looking.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty simple. I
Just
like that.
Take the wood and put a coat of clear varnish on it.
You don't want to stain
With
it
the-
then.
I don't think so.
Good,
See,
I
like
wouldn't
the
either.
color of the wood would
Yeah,
do
because
well.
once that's all planed down and sanded, it's going to really have all that grain in it, and I think it's going to look good. I just don't remember them being that tall.
I think that would still look good.
Yeah, it'll look good. It'll look good.
I think it might be a newer trend, but I like it. It just makes it more of a statement instead of just a functional piece. It's art.
Well, what's your favorite? You've got these all bookmarked. Which is the one you like the most?
This one right here.
While we iron out the details for this headboard, why don't you check out this week's best new product?
Now, not all of your home improvement projects are going to require a jigsaw, but boy, when they do, you want to have a really good one for making those intricate or radial cuts. And take a look at this one by Rigid. Now, this is their compact orbital jigsaw. There's some really good talking points about this that I want to hit for you really quickly. First of all, it's got an innovative gear set. So if you've ever used a jigsaw before, what that basically translates to is there's not going to be a lot of vibration, so it's not going to fatigue your hand as you use it. Another thing I like about it is look at this grip. It's got a great rubber grip, so it's easy to control. Now the start switch is up here on the top, and it's got what they call a soft start. So this is a smooth start and finish every time. Another thing I like about it is, I'm going to pick this up really quickly, is when you turn it on, you're going to get an LED light that comes on and it illuminates the line as you're cutting it. Another thing it has is a switch right here. You can turn on this little blower, and this blower blows the debris off the line so that you can see it. Now, the last little feature I want to point out is take a look at this. This has got a metal foot for easy glide over your work surface, but it's also encased in this plastic cap so that it doesn't mar your work surface as you go along. So, if you're in the market for a jigsaw, do your research, but I think you're going to end up with this one right here.
My daughter Chelsea and I are working to build a headboard for her home from a cedar tree that had to be removed from her yard. The wood is stacked in Chelsea's garage, so now it's time to get busy building.
I'm glad it's so dry. That is working out great, but what I'm concerned with is this older tree that we had.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
It also has a lot of rough edges, and since we're not working for the rustic look here, we have to square those up. To do that, we're attaching a long straight board to the rough lumber with screws before we run it through the table saw.
So we got this straight edge that we're going to use to guide along the edge here, along the fence, and that'll create a straight edge over here.
So we're not trying to cut up against it over here. We're cutting the other.
Right. We're cutting it
side
out
of
to
the
where
piece.
it'll go from, I think I have it 7. It's going to cut right in around here.
And then we'll go back and cut the other side.
Right, and then we can
Okay.
flip it around and we can cut it, and then at least we have a straight edge to reference.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
Since the blade runs parallel to the fence, the resulting cut is as straight as the guide board. So after we remove it, we have a clean straight edge on the cedar.
So now we can take that and cut whatever
okay,
we
put
need.
this up against the fence
Exactly.
and cut
yeah.
off the raw edge
As much
over
as we
here.
possibly can. So let's see. That's 4 inches. That's what we talked about needing.
And with the second pass to the table saw to square the other edge, that's what we'll get.
That's beautiful.
Chelsea and I have made measurements of the bed frame this headboard will go on. So with our picture printed from the internet and those dimensions, we can lay out the wood we've squared up to see if we have enough.
We're gonna have to get into the other tree.
I mean, that's such a different colored wood.
But if that was if we used only that for the slats.
So we're back to squaring up more lumber from the lighter colored tree to create the slats for the back of the headboard. Eventually, we get what we need.
Sure smells good.
So we can start cutting the pieces to their proper length.
Did you measure twice? Cut once.
Since Chelsea's such an expert, I'll let her make the cuts. Now that we have everything cut to length, we still have to smooth it out.
So I think it's time to break out the planer
Okay.
and see if we can't get these pieces down to somewhat of a consistent dimension. So let's set up that planer on top of the table saw.
All right, do you know how to use it? Because I certainly don't.
But rather sanding for days and days, we're using a thickness planer to create a slick finish quickly. All right, what the perfect tool for this job in being able to go from a rough side like this to a nice smooth side like this. The planer's perfect for that. And finally, it's time for assembly. After all of the work that's led up to this point, this part seems like a piece of cake. In fact, maybe the mood is getting a little too light.
Here it is.
Fits like steel.
Oh, don't do that on my headboard, please. Please stop. Please. Oh my gosh. Ha ha.
More glue.
I guess when you're getting this close to the finish line, you can't help but get excited. Within a few minutes, we're able to check our work to see if our enthusiasm was well deserved.
Let's flip it over. Ah!
You gotta admit, that's gonna be cool, huh?
Yeah, that looks great.
Cool, here you go.
I like it.
Now all that's left is the cap for the top and a little piece of trim to dress it up. To match the unique color of the cedar, we're mixing wood glue and cedar sawdust to fill the few nail holes. Then it's a light sanding all around before the varnish starts going on.
Dad, while you're varnishing that, I have a little something else for you to varnish.
Sweet.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess I won't be saying no to any of Chelsea's projects for a while. And speaking of questions, let's take a break and answer one of yours. Martha wants to know, how do you get rid of white watermarks on furniture?
I'm sure all of us at some point have put a glass of cold water right on top of a nice piece of wooden furniture. And you know what happens then? You end up with a watermark like that. Now that can cause quite a panic if you have a nice piece of furniture, and I've seen a lot of people try different homespun ways of getting rid of that, including mayonnaise or even peanut butter, but I've got a way that really works very, very well. Basically, you take a simple cloth like this, place it over it, then take kind of a medium warm iron, place it right over it just for a minute. Take it off, let it breathe a little bit, because you don't want to put too much intense heat on it where it'll affect the actual finish on it. You got to be patient or you'll end up really having a problem with the furniture finish. Now after you continue this a little bit, you'll notice that when you peel this off, kind of has a little bit of a matte finish, which is fine. That'll pretty much go away once it starts cooling down. Then you can just rub it, rub the rest of that out. Then you want to finish everything up with a good quality furniture polish to make everything look consistent. But in the future, instead of having to go through all that, why don't you try one of those? That makes life a lot easier.
Since the day we had to cut down that cedar tree in Chelsea's front yard, we've been talking about creating something special with the wood.
Okay, want to move it back just a little bit. There, we got the light switch clear. Well, what do you think now that you got it in here?
It looks so good in here.
I just thought it would be a little, I don't know, almost too rustic for, you know, everything else is kind of painted in here.
Yeah, I like it a lot though. It looks great.
You know, it's so gratifying when you can do any type of project with your children, whether it's painting or building a headboard like this, and whether your children are very small or all grown up like this one. It's still so much fun and something that you can treasure for a long, long time. Hope you enjoyed this week's show and hope you'll be back next week for more Today's Homeowner. I'm Danny Lipford along with Chelsea. We'll see you next week. Hey, you should try that wood burning kit that you have.
Yeah,
and burn the date on the back.
Yeah, and then we would always know when we built it.
Yeah. Just take it easy.
Do you know upon what criteria this judgment was based?
Just general global considerations. So.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.